ولما انتصف القرن الثامن عشر ولد في الشمال بين صفوف الرجال واحد من المجددين الأخيار، ونيجيريا لم تكن بعد قد وحدها الاستعمار، والجهاد لم يصبح بعد وصمة عار. فلما بلغ عثمان دان فوديو من العمر 50 صاح: حي على الجهاد، وجيش الجيوش وهدم العروش وأقام دولة الخلافة، وقال: لا يكتمل الدين إلا بالسياسة. وقبل أن تحل ساعته ذكر الناس بوصيته: والله تالله بالله الذي لا إله إلا هو، فليكثر كل رئيس من الرؤساء الذين يحبون النجاة والسلامة في الدنيا والآخرة من التفكر في معنى قول أصدق القائلين: ومن لم يحكم بما أنزل الله فأولئك هم الظالمون، ومن لم يحكم بما أنزل الله فأولئك هم الفاسقون، ومن لم يحكم بما أنزل الله فأولئك هم الكافرون. وفي تكرار الآيات الثلاث وعيد شديد لمن لم يعدل في رياسته. ولا تتغير آيات القرآن الكريم بتغير الأزمان أو بطول الدهور أو بتغيير النفاق. كتب الرجل إذن وصيته، ثم وافته منيته، ولم يمض من القرن 19 إلا 7 سنوات. وفي الحال اختير من الأبناء محمد ليكون على المؤمنين هو الأمير، ولدولة سوكوتو هو السلطان. ثم توالت الأجيال جيلا بعد جيل. بعد محمد أتى ابنه أبو بكر، فإبراهيم، إلى أن أنجب الأخير من كان حديث الناس من كل لون ومن كل دين.
His personal leadership qualities, name whatever, you will find that the principal issue is that he loved people, he loved his country, he loved his past, he loved his present, he loved Nigeria.
You know, their motto was work and worship. That was all they were doing. They were working and praying, worshiping, that was all.
During our state with Sardona, there is no sort of dictatorship, anything. Everything the ministers considered. The minister, only Sardona, whether he liked it or not, he must accept it.
He was a great Muslim. He converted so many people to Islam. That was a great achievement.
He believed very, very strongly that he was answerable to God for anything he did and will be punished by God if he did anything deliberately evil against any human being. Here I was, a young Christian in his office, very close to him, seeing him on a daily basis. He never interfered with my religion. If I had converted to Islam, I'm sure he would have been pleased, but he never indicated that wish.
He has a kind of approach in which whenever you meet, even for the first time, he'll make an impact that this is the person to work with. This is the person that I'll be happy to work with, because he's so accommodating and respects everybody.
Ana cikin farin ciki kullum. Sai da Allah ya raba mu.
حان وقت الميلاد فأتى قوس قزح وفرح، لا هو لين فيعصر ولا هو صلب فيكسر. عندما أتى كانت الأرض متعبة سنوات وسنوات، والغرباء يأتون من وراء البحار يستحلون الأرض ويسرقون الأزهار. فلما سئم الإنجليز تجارة العبيد قالوا: لما لا يكون الوطن كله من العبيد؟ حينها كان القرن 20 لتوه قد بدأ، وبعد 9 سنوات من القرار الغريب أتى الوليد أحمد بلو في قرية صغيرة اسمها رباح. أبوه كما أسلفنا اسمه إبراهيم من سلالة المجاهد عثمان. فإذا ما أسرع الخطى الزمان تعلم الطفل القرآن، وقد بلغ من العمر سنوات 3. فلما زاد بعدها 3 توفي والده، وبات أحمد من الأيتام تماما كما تكون الأوطان حين تكف بطون النساء عن حمل الشهداء.
The late Sardona of Sokoto was born around 1909, and incidentally that was the time that my uncle, my father's elder brother, was born in the same year, and they attended the same school, the elementary school. But my uncle did not proceed any further while Sardona continued. He was son of a district head in Rapa and great-grandson of Sultan Bello, the son of Sheikh Usman Danfodilano.
To, shina cikin makarantar Arabiya. An ka ɗauke shi an kai shi makaranta Sokoto. Ya zamna Sokoto. Ya shekara wato 5. Shina ilimi wanga na Ingilishi.
أجاد أحمد النصوص الرومانية ولغة المستعمر الإنجليزية وعلوم التاريخ والجغرافيا وقبلها العربية والدراسات القرآنية، واحتل الترتيب الأول على كل زملائه وأقرانه، فاستحق الجزاء.
As you can see, this school is called Katsina Training College. It was built in 1921. When Europeans came to Katsina, they found out that the people of Katsina, they are not exposed to Western education at all. They only rely on Islamic education. So therefore, Europeans decided to build a school for the people so that they will be exposed to the Western education. And in fact, Sardona and his colleague they came into this college, were enrolled into this college on May 1924.
هكذا دوما الاستعمار يفعل بالطبشور ما يفعله بالرصاص، يغزو العقول كما يغزو الأوطان. لكن أحمد تحميه حصانته الدينية، وينهي دراسته الجامعية وقد جمع بين الدين والدراسات الغربية، ويعمل معلما صارما، لكنه يثير في نفوس طلابه الإلهام. هكذا عمل بالدراسة، ثم تحول إلى الإدارة، وبين المهنتين موازينه ثقلت ومواهبه صقلت، وباتت لديه سمات القادة. كان طويل القامة، يلبس العمامة، ينام من الليل القليل، ويخالط من الناس الكثير، إلى أن حل عام 39 والوطن ما زال تحت المحتلين.
After teaching, he became district head of Rubah. That's where his father was the Sarki Rubah. When he was the district head of Rubah, Sokoto province, with the new system of administration, became so big. The government or the governor at that time asked each province to send 2 people to legislative council, it was called. Luckily enough, Sokoto sent Sardona among others. That's how he started being leader. Unfortunately, with his background, administrative capability, he became the leader somehow. They all, scrambled to him.
سردونا بالعربية هو ذاك الرجل الذي يحمي السلطان إذا ما احتدم القتال، أو هو حامل السيف الشجاع. أيما كان، فقد كان اللقب الذي ينادي به الناس أحمد بلو، به يعرف وبه يعرف.
We quietly started forming these various organizations in the north, and time came when we thought the various little groups in the north should join hands together to form a big social organization, not political yet, which we called in Hausa Jam'iyya Mutane Arewa, which means the Northern People's Congress.
في هذه الأيام كان واضحا للعيان أن الشمال والجنوب مختلفان. جنوب مسيحي يحكمه الاستعمار بأسلوب مباشر ويعلمه ثقافته، وشمال يحكم بأسلوب غير مباشر.
We also resisted the British much more than anybody else did. We fought the British. I don't think the British found it so difficult to control the South. You must appreciate that we have disparate small communities scattered all over without much coherence. When the British leader, Lugard, conquered Asia, before he did, he wrote a letter to the Sultan of Sokoto of the day that he came, they want to discuss with us, He got a very rude reply from Sultan. From us to you, between us Muslim believers and you unbelievers, there nothing but war is ordained by God Almighty.
Our concern at that time, after the war, was to fight for our freedom and independence.
But Sardona and his followers think that it is early for Nigeria to ask for independence. His reason being that the North was far behind in Western education. The North was far behind in developing her resources. So he asked all the followers, Al-Hajj Yahya Gusau, he is still alive, to plead to the mover of the motion to be patient and give us time to prepare.
What was initially started as a cultural organization, Northern People's Congress, converted into a political party. And it was that party that Sardona Ahmadu Bello was invited by his colleagues to join.
تمر الأيام، تزداد شعبيته ويرى الناس حكمته، فإذا ما قالوا له يكن على رأس الحكم في البلاد، رفض وقال أكون كذلك فقط في الشمال.
Because he worked so hard for the development of northern Nigeria, and that caused a lot of problems. They thought he was dividing the country, whereas his argument was this: develop the north, which was backward relatively in education, develop it into a position of comparable ability to compete with the other regions in the shared interests of Nigeria, and this will strengthen unity. Therefore, he devoted himself first of all to uniting the north.
ثمة أشياء تبدو أحيانا متناقضة كانت له المقدرة على الجمع بينها: الأصالة والمعاصرة، الدين والقومية، ولاؤه للمسلمين وحبه الآخرين.
He was the pillar of Islam here in the north. He was respected all over the world. He rose to be the vice president of World Muslim League, and he was well known in the Arab world, so much so that we were literally linked to the Arab world because of that relationship. And through his association with the Arab world, and because of his own lineage as a descendant of Usman Fodio, he was instrumental to the conversion of many pagans and Christians to Islam.
What I heard was they said that at night, normally he doesn't sleep much. He 4 hours. Yes, that was what he said in his book. Then he prayed a lot then, and then read the Holy Quran, because maybe that's the time he had that. Maybe during the day he just can't do a lot.
His humility of not bothering for lecturers' accommodation. He can sleep here, just a pillow on this carpet. Sleep until morning. And in Mecca, for example, place he is probably sleeping, he sleeps with 5 or 6 others, if it is a big room. So he doesn't care in that occasion for privacy or luxury or something like that.
لم تكن الدنيا بعد قد قلبت فيها الموازين، ولم يكن الدين بعد دليل إدانة أو رمزا للعمالة. وكان الرجل يفهم أن كل راع مسؤول عن رعيته، حتى وإن كان منها من ليس من قبيلته أو لا يشاركه قبلته.
You see, to talk about the way the Sardona handled the ethnic and religious diversities of northern Nigeria is really the best you can learn from his life if you are a Nigerian. Because if you look at his cabinet, his ministers, he ensured that people from all demographic zones that are either non-Muslims or non-Hausas or non-Fulanis were on that cabinet.
He did not let his own religious belief interfere with your own religious belief. And every Christmas, he would take a lot of trouble to send greeting cards and make a broadcast to the whole of northern Nigeria, emphasizing that we are people of the book, Christians and Muslims, and that we have so much in common that we should emphasize those elements that unite us and de-emphasize the elements which men say divide us.
وظلت هكذا الحال حتى يوم رحل فيه المحتلون، فشد الهمة الناس وقالوا نبني وطنا لا يظلم فيه الناس.
In 1959, northern region was given our own self-government. But long before the West and the East, the West and the East was governing themselves. And then later, we come to agreement that now we are prepared. We can have independence in 1960. That's October 1960, we became independent.
ومرت الأيام والأيام والناس في استقلال ويشعرون بالأمان، إلى أن صاح متمردون: يا أهل البلاد، دوام الحال من المحال، وقد أصدرنا نحن حكما فانصتوا له الآن. يعدم رميا بالرصاص كل من يزرع الأزهار أو يحسن إلى الجار، كل من ينصف المظلوم أو يفكر في إطعام مسكين. يعدم رميا بالرصاص من يوحد البلاد أو ينشر الحب بين العباد. وفي الليلة الموعودة نفذ الحكم وكانت الجريمة.
In fact, about a year before the coup, a letter was written that Southerners were preparing to kill Sardona. And he laid it bare to the House of Assembly. This is the story. And that made everybody aware. And it didn't scare him. He still did not insist on getting soldiers stopping people or police stopping people from visiting him. His gates were always opened.
When Chief Akintola, the premier of Western Nigeria, is also an ally, and he flew in an aircraft to come here to see him. After they met, he left. This is also another sign. A colleague coming to see him privately, not the usual way. And all the movement of these army was still going on for a day or two, I think, before the happening.
So the night that this was going to happen, I know Sardona told me about it. Yes, we went to Umrah, Hajj Umrah. And he said to me, he called me and he said, "Doctor, thank you very much. I'm going to be killed soon." So I laughed. He said, "Well, doctor, you're never serious." This, I mean it.
This is the official residence of late Ahmadu Bello, the premier of northern Nigeria. This is the main entrance to the residence. And this is the official residence, the reception area to the main house. This is, of course, the lawn where there are a lot of visitors to the residence. We'll be waiting to see Ahmadu Bello.
They said that Akintola advised the Sultana to run away. He had a plane. He wanted to run away to Niger. And somebody said, he told him, "But if I run away, what about the people I'm going to leave behind?" He said that it's more honorable to live and die with their people. I'm not going to leave them.
كان يحارب التعب ويستعد للموت ولم يبلغ بعد 56، وكان الجميع يدركون أن أمرا يجري في الخفاء، لكنه ما كان ليخشى الأعداء.
The security forces then were largely made up of British officers or controlled by British officers. What they talk of as MI5, because it's part of British territory. I think the Sardona's posture was very uncomfortable to the West. He was an Islamic leader. He boasted of being an Islamic leader. Like his statement that he did not believe Israel existed, you know, that kind of thing, which of course embarrassed his party in Lagos at the federal level. So when the coup occurred, one thing that we noticed immediately was the total change in attitude, say, of the British press, the BBC, the papers, which had hitherto tended to appear they supported the northern side, the conservative north, and suddenly it changed.
This is the entrance to the private school from the Latvia. These are two private sections. And upstairs is the bedroom of the Latvia.
Killed the Sardona and one of his wives and one of his bodyguards and some Nigerian policemen. And a friend of mine who was with me at school also was dealing with security matters. He rushed to the house, was gunned down, left it.
كان الزمان رمضان والوقت قبل السحور، وكان الرجل المبدئي صاحب المشروع النهضوي يدرك أنه قد أزعج الجميع، المنصرون الغرباء، وهو الذي على يديه يدخل الناس الإسلام، اليهود، وهو الذي قرر ألا يصافح من هم للأمة أعداء، الجنوبيون المتطرفون، وقد أبعدهم عن الحكم في الشمال.
haka aka yi muna zaune dai muka ji ana kululuwa muka taho muka fito muka ga same shi muna tattare. muna tattare da shi da a zaune a cikin bakin gate don muka tare a nan man tare da shi annan sai ne su sojojin suka shigo. yana ɗakinsa kafin abin ya faru ya shiga ɗakin shi, wasu tsofaffin da ke kwana kusa da shi mutanen suka ce ya fito akwai wani abin da ke faruwa. Ya ce ai ya sani bai hitowa, me zai hito, gudun mutuwa ake. Suka yi ta kuka suka sa ya fito da kyar, sannan muka ji kuma rigima muka fito muka same su anan tare da shi da waɗansu mutanen gida haka masu ba shi shawara, suna ba shi magana ya fito, da ya ƙi fitowa daga ɗakinsa, sannan ya fito muka ce mai ke faruwa, wace gashi da gashi sojoji ne.
Major Nziokwu, can you please give me an account of the night of the coup in Kaduna?
It's rather something like the longest day. We started this off on the night of the 13th of January when a night exercise was planned by the military college, which I command. We took out troops to the ground and taught them how to do night attacks. We didn't tell them what we were planning for, but at the end of the exercise, we took them out and showed them various places where they were to stand and just remain in the vehicle. Next day, we went out again for the same type of exercise, and at the end, we issued them with ammunition this time, live ammunition, and told them that they were going back to the same place as they went yesterday, but this time they were to get certain people.
And they were with you, were they?
Oh, of course.
That I should kill them first. Sardona was behind. And the one in the center, who is the senior one, she was the one covering Sardona. So she was shot, and the other dropped, and I think women, one fell, and the other one fell, and the wife in the center was shot. And there was Sardona, and Sardona said, "Here I am." If today is the right, this is, I stood by my word.
Did Sardona himself attempt to fight?
Well, no. We didn't see him until the time we actually shot him. He ran away from his house when we fired the first few shots of anti-tank gun into the building. The whole roof was blown up and the place was set alight. Then we went to the rear of the house and started searching from room to room until we found him amongst the women and children, hiding himself. So we sort of took away the women and children and took him.
I went to the house and I saw him where he was killed, just leaning on the wall, shot through here, and I took him in an ambulance and then dressed him up, stitched the wound, and then he said to me, not for this purpose, he had always said to me that if he dies, not thinking about bullets this time, illness or anything, he wants to be buried among his ancestors in Sokoto. That's what he said to me. So after doing this, after clearing up, I went to see Nzegu. I drove my car to him to see him, and he saw me coming. He's also a friend. And he said, "Oh, doctor, look at all the injury I've had. Are you coming to see me about it?" So he was laughing. He said, "Doctor, I have done my duty as a soldier." And I told him that what Sardona, that's the request, that's what he told me. He said, "Doctor, you can do whatever you like of the body."
This is the bedroom of the late premier, where there are several shots on the day of the coup when he was killed. But almost half of the room was gutted by fire when the soldiers attacked the house on that day. And another exit where some of the soldiers managed to came in. It was believed when the soldiers attacked Sardona, it was through this way that he went out to the very spot where the soldiers killed him and his wife.
The coup took place late at night. At that time, I was deputy secretary to the premier. My boss was Ali Akilu, and I was working directly in the premier's office. I got to the office very early in the morning at about 7 o'clock, and the whole place was upside down. People were crying and weeping. The premier has been murdered. Ankeshe premier, Ankeshe premier. Then
sai Kaduna wata ranar buɗa kuma naji ana cewa an kori ministoci duk su hita gidajensu sannan ko na to ni daga sannan dai daukar ni kai dai shi kila dai shi dai dawo gida ma'aza sannan tabbacin wai babu shi ba don ba faɗa min ƙashin gaskiya cewa babu shi ba.
He attacked him by the wall and he was lying on the floor by the wall with, that building there, and he was shot and then he fell and then he was just lying like that.
Finally, Sardona was shot here. His wife was first shot, then he was shot and fall by the wall.
kowa ba shi gane ya kan bakin cikin da an kai don kusan lokacin da an ce an kai shi ba don mutum kwan garin gaba har daji an kai saboda bakin ciki a mutane yawa kwarai da gaske da yaro da babba gani sannan duk da kiɗi ko an ba a yi garin ga an yi wajen wata guda ba a kiɗi garin ga ko ina ka ishin mu duka a ishin sha soke da kai saboda bakin ciki balle mu ma da iyali daɗa
ko ina ba a ji daɗi game da haka nan kan kun ko gobe inda an ka zama ba da aka yi taro ba a ambaci Sardauna ba kuma a tuno shi kuma a mai addu'a kuma a yi kukan rashi ne da muka yi.
The northern Nigerian people do not forget Kogi. There are those who, even they don't know Sardauna. They are born when Sardauna was died. But up now, his memory are still there.
السيد غاب، السيد قتلوه وما غاب، بكت المآذن عليه ودقت الأجراس، ومرت السنون والسنون والناس على ذكراه وعلى ما عليه مات. الدين لله وفي الوطن متسع للجميع. الدين لله وله وحده الملك والسلطان. إلى الملتقى.